And I was just watching that Have a Nice Trip. Have you seen that on Netflix yet?
Yes, it's great. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. And it's not like I enjoy tripping, and I've only done it maybe a few times, but if they actually came out with, like the doctor said, the medical use in a controlled environment where I'm not having
Hmm.
someone poke their finger in my face and stuff like that, just to expand. I think the reason I get so anxious and I have such anxiety in social situations sometimes is because I was just raised differently. I feel like we were raised differently when we were, like, outside before technology, but still
Hmm.
have technology. But people are just, I don't know if it's because we're older and you don't realize this, you don't see it. And then now everyone has access, so instantly you can be a jerk if you want. Whereas, like, you wouldn't really know unless someone told you or you saw it in person. But I don't know. People are just like, I feel like most people are kind of jerks. And then you meet a nice person, you're like, oh man, he's a nice guy. But that's ass backwards. It should be like, I remember when I was younger, it was always like, oh man, everyone's nice. And then you're like, oh, that guy's a jerk. You know,
Yeah.
it's just once in a while. And I don't know. What do you think it is? Like, and it's a noticeable difference. Do you think it's social media? Do you think it's just everything?
Well, I think so. And one, I think this stuff is so new. I think we're still figuring it out. We're to a point now, and it's going to get a lot weirder where
Oh,
we don't even know what's true anymore
oh,
because people can put up whatever, just like facts that are just
they made up in their
lies,
head too.
and people
Yeah.
will recycle that stuff. I think it's a matter of one. It's gotten to the point now where there are things like Twitter and stuff like that. I can't even do that. It's just noise. That
Yes.
that Facebook feed, it's just noise.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's just scrolling past, and everyone is just screaming to be heard, but no one's, I feel, listening.
Yeah.
So it just becomes a trap.
Yeah.
Arguing with someone on Facebook, social media, or whatever, like you get like that maybe a little dopamine rush from like doing a sassy comeback or whatever. But like then what? Then you have to keep like coming back like as you guys go back and forth over shit that and you'll never resolve because you're both too stubborn to anyway, and you're doing it over a screen,
Right.
and not actually connecting with anyone anyway. It's just becomes that trap, where
Well,
it's a reason that my shits take 15 minutes now. only only two
yeah.
minutes of that was actually of the deed, and the rest is all like scrolling, by. There's those chemicals in our brain that I think we're starting to recognize are enabling us to be addicted to this constant stream of information and this constant need for that immediate satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. That's why
You
I don't
know,
talk politics because, again, it's like no one listens, and also there's no facts. No one argues or says things with facts anymore, especially nowadays. But the whole reason I asked that is the point of all that was that I get anxious because when I was watching that show and they're talking about how it expands your mind, and then you start to think more like big picture. I've always been a big picture guy. And that's why I
sure.
don't think I fit in with a lot of people sometimes because I get people are always thinking short term, like when's my next paycheck? How are you going to pay the bills? Stuff like that. So that's why it's like hard to kind of, especially when you're working with bands or trying to work in the industry. So when I saw that, I was just thinking it's hard because people think so short term. So I might say something, it might not make sense now, but in my head, it makes sense because I see 4 steps ahead of what
Right.
that's all going to lead to.